My bad, my bad. Now you have, right? Okay, again. Sorry. So let's start this again. Start recording right now. So now with the proper audio. The mic's a bit far, but I think you guys can hear me, right? Yeah, like I changed some stuff here. So, anyways, right? Yeah, sorry, I forgot to unmute the mic. Yeah, it happens. All right. So again, basically, I was saying thanks for being here, and I was just mentioning some names here: Marco, Augustine, Fabian, Steve Kennedy, Mikey, Pablo Nexion. There's a good one there. More money than talent. Great name. Steve Austin, Jom, Juan Ignacio, perfect. Arceon, yes. Giorgio, right. All right, great. Niels, Diego Garber, yeah. So everybody, I'm just reading. Hey, how you guys are doing? Another live here, as promised. As promised, I'm always trying to do, but it's happening one live a month for you guys. And this week is a tougher week because I'm going to Tennessee this Saturday, so things are a bit, days are pretty busy. Yeah, but everybody can hear me. Everything is great. So I was, checking here the comments and questions that we can talk about, and I saw. Let me see who wrote this first. Where's that? Oh no. Oh yeah. Arc 1861 and pitch axis theory. What about that? Do you guys like the idea of talking about this? Pitch axis theory. So I feel like there is more to it than Joe Satriani has already demonstrated, and and then there's some conversations about that. So what about that? Pitch axis. Somebody knows what is what is a pitch axis theory? I have no idea what that is. Yeah, and to be very honest, I was reading the comments. Yeah, this afternoon. Well, now it's like 9 p.m. here, right? So this afternoon, and it's like I remember this pitch axis thing, but the name, but every time people give different names for the same things, I think it's cool, but sometimes I don't really, I don't know, I don't use the names because. So then I Google, just put pitch axis theory just to see, and yes, I found like a video of somebody talking about I don't know, that was like Guthrie Govan video, but he didn't really explain anything. He said, well, Satriani just used this, but was a quick answer, but not very, he said like something like, well, I don't think Satriani is like thinking too much when he creates the stuff. Anyways, everybody's relating this name to Joe Satriani, and I get it, because Joe Satriani, his songs are very based on modes. You can hear that he really thinks about the modes. So let me see what you guys talk about this. What you guys know about this? At least the name pitch axis, because for me, pitch is. Yeah, it makes sense. Pitch, axis, yeah, makes sense. Like you're basically using a note to go to another place. Actually, in the 7-factor course, there's a lesson there about to be uploaded yet. because the idea is to upload some lessons slowly so you guys don't watch the stuff like you're like, okay, one afternoon watch the whole thing and don't learn anything. So my idea is like you just go step by step, because what I really want is you guys having the pleasure of understanding the whole thing, and applying and using it and playing and making music. It's not about to watch me doing it and then it's like, oh great, Kiko knows. But I want you to know how to use the modes as well. So the idea is, to slowly put that. So I have actually, I don't know, maybe a short lesson explaining this, but I give another name. But it's kind of the same thing. I only know what is described on Wikipedia. All right, so yeah. What about, may I take the time to take a look here what Wikipedia says? If we yeah, oh here, theory. Is a music concert chord progression? Yeah, well, exactly. Okay, so the more you learn the modes, the more you get familiar with the modes. Forget about, I mean, if you want to use the pitch axis, great, but fine. And it's great because it's kind of a mysterious name. Maybe you're going to see me using that name, maybe it helps you to sell the course. I'm going to put like, hey, do you know what is a pitch axis is? Yeah, here, the course is going to explain you. But so forget about the name. The more you know the modes, like really understand the whole thing about the modes, the pitch axis is going to be the most natural thing to do. It's like, it's like basic stuff, like basic. Which is, once you learn, it's like you learn the colors. Let's compare with the colors. Is a okay comparison. Compare with the colors, right? Once you learn what is red, what is blue, what is green, you know how to mix the colors. Of course you're gonna use the colors, all of them in one song or in the same melody, right? So it's basically you're gonna be using the pitch axis, which is, I will talk more about it. We have 1 hour here, so seven factor pitch axis reveal, for real, no mystery. But there's a lesson there that I call neutralization. So I kind of maybe I give that I'm creating a new name, but because I'm kind of translating the name from the classical music, so maybe it's not so fancy, but it's a little bit different than the pitch. It's kind of the same, I guess. But basically, once you have a tonic, you have a tonic, let's say A. You have a note A. And you learn 7 modes, right? Let's say you know the 7 modes, you really know how to use the 7 modes, you know their sound, you know what they represent, the feeling they bring, all the intervals of each one, basically what I'm teaching on the 7 factor. So then when you have only one note, the tonic, of course, you can choose, should I go to the Lydian? Should I go now to the Aeolian? Should I go now to the, Mixolydian? Should I go now major or should I go minor? Oh, if I go minor, I have 3 ways. I have Dorian, Aeolian, or Phrygian. If I go major, I have 3 majors. I can go Lydian, I can go Mixolydian, I can go Ionian. So, and now it's coming back to having this central note, the tonic, the root, right? Let's say the note A, as this axis that you can go, okay, I go Lydian, now I go back, then I go Mixolydian, now I come back, right? So have this pivot. They use the word pivot as well, right? So you can always coming back to that tonic, to the center, right? And then you can go anywhere. So basically that's the pitch axis is, But you can do that with melody and you can do that with chords, right? But the chords is a bunch of notes. So if you understand the and I show some chord progressions a little bit in the on the course. And of course, if people are more towards chords, I can always record more lessons to show more examples. But if you can do with chords, or you can do with melodies, only single notes. And then basically that's the pitch axis, which is just a fancy name for that, you know. So the going home before wedding analogy, yeah, that I said, yeah, if you exactly. So I said that on the live, right? When I'm doing lives, I have this, you know, ideas. I don't know why, but so let's say if the who said it? Engine, yeah, engine, or maybe in French. Uh, um, so it would be like, okay, you go to the beach. Let's say it's like Mixolydian, and then if you're going to the wedding, you go to a wedding, and then you're not going like from the beach to the wedding, right? You go back home to the A, to the tonic, to the root, and then get ready, and then go to the wedding. And then if you're gonna, I don't know, if you're going to, you know, like skateboard, and then you go to the go home, you know, the route, and then you go skateboarding because you have to have the skateboarding gear or whatever, you know. So it's this different vibes, the modes, different places. Because I'm saying like wedding and going to you know, skateboard, because every mode can take you to a place, or to a memory, to a song, to a feeling. So if you understand that, you can go to many places, but always coming home is the safest way. Because if you jump from one mode to another one, it might sound, will sound chromatic, and it's not going to be clear to the listener. So I would play something here, so maybe the internet never forgets. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. No issue with syncing. No. Let me see what you guys are saying. Colors, good concept. Yeah, the colors is a good thing to say too as a concept. So Arceon, yeah, choose a tonal center and get different chords from the different modes. Them to just like Satriani. Yeah. So basically, if you don't know the modes very well, of course you're not gonna understand this pitch axis. You're not gonna understand what I'm talking about neutralization. I'm saying neutralization because when you bring back home, kind of you neutralize the feeling of that mode, right? So let's say you're playing. Let's use major and minor. So most of you guys, I'm sure, recognize the major chord and minor chord. The minor chord has a minor feeling, like a sad feeling, and the major chord has more like a happy feeling, right? And then let's say one has a major third and the other one has a minor third, right? So if you go from one to another and you play major third to a minor third, then you have a chromatic half step, and then you don't know if it gets not clear that, oh, you're playing major, go home, come back home, and then go to the minor, right? If you go major third to a minor third, this is just a chromatic feeling, a chromatic passage, and then it's not very clear. So basically, that's the neutralization. So the pitch axis. So you come back to the tonic, and now, you know, because the tonic is a common note for both major and minor. So when you have 7 notes, then you have 7 options. So you go back home and then have 7 options. When I call neutralization, it goes a little bit further because I'm talking about melodies. And then neutralization, you can neutralize on the tonic, which would be the perfect neutralization because all the 7 modes have the same tonic, right? But also the 5th. And then if you watch the course, you're going to see like the harmonic series and how, or even the lives, I was talking about the harmonic series, how the fifth is just like a reinforcement of the tonic. So if you stop on the fifth, also has the feeling of going home, right? Going home, neutralize, you're ready to go to another mode. So you have, if you have a happy melody, neutralize, go to the tonic or to the fifth, and then now you can go and play minor, right? And then you're sad. Go back to the tonic or to the fifth. Now you can go to the major again. And adding to that, if let me know if that's clear. So you're neutralizing on the tonic or in the fifth, right? So let's say here, you guys can hear this? No, let me put strings. I always prefer the strings because you can, right? A. The guitar is not. A major. Tonic. So the guitar is out too. Now it's minor. Tonic. Right, so from major to minor, Ionian to Aeolian, but I'm always coming back to the tonic, right? And I could stop on the fifth, would work too. Minor. Right, now I'm going to stop on the fifth. Fifth, major. Right, so I'm going to the fifth and then going to the minor scale. Going back to the fifth, going to the major scale. So it's a safe way to have these transitions. Sounds more melodic, right? Let's do now without doing that, right? So I'm major. This. Major third and then straight to the minor third. And then you have this chromaticism there. And then you might say, oh, it's not that bad. And I'll say, yeah, well, that's the blues, right? So the blues plays with that thing that I don't know if it's major, I don't know if it's minor. And because of the blues is such a known ethnic music, right? I consider the blues, maybe some of the Americans would say, wow, but the blues is an ethnic music, as the flamenco is, as the tango, as the the baião in Brazil, as the different kinds of music, and then the fact that the power of North America spreading the blues and the rock and roll, and then influencing the bands in England, and then like kind of the blues is a thing that mainly we play guitar, and then blues kind of is a must to know, but it is in a way ethnic music then has some special things there, which is in the cases that the major and the minor you're not sure You know, you play a major chord, and then you play the pentatonic, playing the minor third, but kind of doing those bends to the major third, like those appoggiatura would say in a more technical way, appoggiatura, right? So let me see here what you guys are talking about, if that helps. I really love the minor sound so much more than major. That was very clear. Thank you. Okay, great. So yeah, before I will show the chords with the chords. Of course, now I have like a pedal note, just an A note. But of course, if you play with chords, then it's completely clear because the harmony is doing it, and then of course everything you play as a solo or melody follows the harmony, and everybody's playing those transitions, you know, the pitch access or like neutralization and stuff like that. So with the chords would be clear. So that's what Satriani said, because he keeps like a pedal note, like I was doing here with the keyboard. I will show a little bit more. That now I'm playing triads, changing the modes, and the A is the common note, is the pitch access, is the neutralization note, is home, so you can go to 7 different paths, right? Yes, like, I don't know, like in a roundabout, I would say, or something like that. I don't know. Try to give, getting some other visual things. You know, you go to the roundabout and you choose where you're gonna go. You know, which path you wanna go, right? So before I show before I show the chords, let me say a little something else, because that's there in the 7-factor course. I call the neutralization, and of course, if you are already in the, let's say, 3 major modes: Lydian, Ionian, Mixolydian. If you're already there, 3 major modes, then, and you want to go from one to another one, now the major third can be a neutralization note as well, right? Because the triad now is the pitch axis, if you want to use this term, which is pretty cool. The entire triad, the tonic, the fifth, and the major third, are common notes to the 3 major modes, right? That's why they're major modes, because they have a major triad inside them. So you can stop if you're in the major third on an Ionian mode, and you stop in the major third, then you can go to the Lydian mode, not a problem, right? Or you can go to the Mixolydian mode, because you're using a common note, like a pivot note or pitch axis note. Is that clear? And then of course, the more you know the more you know the modes or other modes from the harmonic minors or all the scales, you can always pitch X would be with the tonic, with the fifth, or with the third if you stay only major modes, or if you are moving from one minor mode to another minor mode, you could use the minor third as a pitch axis. But of course, using the tonic would be the best neutralization movement you could do, you know, the safest way. And then just to bring not only chords, somebody said about the chords, and I will show the chords, but also Satriani uses that. And then I don't know how to play, but that was the video that I saw from Guthrie Govan, that he mentioned, like the Satriani, the tapping. I don't know how to play, but you know, I don't even know the song. Maybe it's the I don't know, the boogie one, right? The surf with the alien. I don't know. So I'm using, look, I'm using the pitch axis or the neutralization note or the tonic, the pivot is the A. That is always there. It's in the tapping. So I'm doing Lydian, A Lydian, A Lydian. The fifth is here. And then if we play minor, let's play. That's a further. If you really learn the modes there in the course, you're gonna see that the if we use the Aeolian mode like a natural minor, it's pretty far from the Lydian. A lot of notes, different notes, and less sharp notes, right? So you have a major third, sharp fourth. So a minor chord would, a minor scale would be a minor third in a perfect fourth. So look, if I'm doing, look, then the pitch axis or the neutralization notes are here. Tonic fifth, Lydian, now minor. So I'm mixing the Lydian with minor, and it creates different vibes because the Lydian has this mysterious sound, I would say, in this case, and the minor is kind of a little bit more boring in a way because it's the pentatonic. We know the sound. Minor. Now major. And then if I put this, imagine a band like I know this. Sad. Love him here. Lydian. Minor. Mysterious Lydian. Minor. Like classical music in a way? Lydian. Mysterious. Is it clear? Set boogie, yeah. Sorry, my memory. I should know that. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. Let me see the other comments here. Let me see. Go back a little bit. Just a second. Let me read some stuff here. Ooh, there's a lot of questions here. Just a second now. If I can explain one of the songs. Yeah. So how does it relate to functional harmony? Oh, that sometimes I just afraid of. Hey, Richard. Yeah, how are you? No, I just noticed. Hi, Roland. Yeah. Anyways, we had like the private lesson the other day. Was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. Wednesday. Yeah. Cool. Functional harmony. You have like those questions that takes few hours because but let's see if I can answer that. I have to think. Relative modes, parallel modes. You guys have fancy names for stuff, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, like the parallel modes and relative modes. Comparing, because you have let me see the other question, but you have the other questions. But you have the modal harmony and the functional, right? Functional harmony, more like in a certain key that moves around, with the 4-5-1. I mean, this is like, it's a conversation that takes another path, the harmony, and sometimes I'm afraid to start saying names because if you don't have the basics, you might get lost. So let me know. But basically, dominant tonic, 4-5-1, and then relative minor. So you have the 2-5-1s, and then you have the dominant, and then you have like subdominant, and then you have the secondary dominant, and then you start building from a progression from the major scale progression. You start building the cadences and some chords that connects to the other one. So after a while, you have a lot of chords. So it takes time to get there, and then you can also come to this same approach or those same sounds of the different modes through the functional harmony concepts. I might talk about this if we have time. Because just a quick thing, I don't want to get like too complicated. Because it sounds Joe Satriani, it might sound modern. Oh, this is not modern at all. This is like the cycle fifths in a way. The fugues from Bach, they would be in C major. Let's say a composition from Johann Sebastian Bach would necessarily, by the rule of doing a fugue, would be from C major, right? Play there, doing the 4-5-1, dominant, resolve, C major, playing there. And then at some point would go to F major, would do the cadence to F major, which means that C Ionian would turn into a C Mixolydian to bring to the F major. I hope you guys are following me. And then he would keep doing playing F major, which is the fourth degree of the C major. And when you go in the cycle fourths, which is the contrary of the cycle fifths, it gives like a more because you have more flats, right? So it gives like a minor feeling. Every time you go in fourths, it's like things are getting minor. I can't play here, and you tell me. And then every time you go in fifths, you add a sharp to the scale. So the C major doesn't have any flats or sharps. And then if you go to the fifth, which is G, and then you play G major, now you have one sharp. So one note is half step up, which is in the case of the C becomes a Lydian. Is it clear? So I'm talking about Johann Sebastian Bach. The fugue would be C major, F major, going a fourth, so feeling smaller, and then at some point, I'm not sure, but I think he goes back as a rule of a fugue. It's not my thing, so I'm trying to remember when I studied that, but I think he goes back to the C again, and then like a neutralization, then it goes to the G. It brights, like it's brighter, right? So now it goes to the G key, and then it's like the C turns into a Lydian. But Bach was not using the modes concept. He was moving to different keys, doing what we call transposition or modulation. So from C to F, from C to G, or if one to feel minor, would go from C to A minor. That would be the relative minor. Okay, so that would have those four keys, and I think I might be wrong. Okay, because it's not my thing. That was a rule, and every fugue would have that. So I don't know how to play a fugue, but the melodies, if the guy is like, at some point it would be, would have this, would have that sound, and now it's in F, and at some point goes back. Yeah, at some point goes. and then it goes to the G major and feels like, oh, it's growing. It's a kind of a harmonic movement. But but if you think in a perspective of only the C, so the C was the tonic, was Ionian. When the C is the fifth of the F, now the C is Mixolydian. When the C is the fourth of the G major scale, now the C is Lydian. I hope this was not complicated, but I just want to say that because this is concept that's pretty old. I'm talking about Johann Sebastian Bach in a way. So yeah, but just some like a big parenthesis. But that's harmony, So with harmony you can go transposition, right? Go to different places. Now it's like so many. Sounds like Malmsteen. No wonder, right? Because Malmsteen, he was like sounding like this to sound classical. Like those Baroque or Romantic. It's not about playing a violin, It's about also understanding some rules, because back then, some stuff you didn't have it. You couldn't do it. You wouldn't do. I think maybe there's some pieces that would deny that. But when he wants that bright to have a brighter sound, he goes to G major. So we're playing C major, and then Johann Sebastian Bach wants to have a brighter sound. So he goes. Now he's in G major because he does like a dominant to G major. Now he is in D major, and if he goes to the chord C, this C is gonna be with a sharp fourth, which is the Lydian. But he's not playing modally, having that Lydian sound, Joe Satriani kind of sound. He's going to G major to get the feeling that opens. The modal music would keep the bass in C, and then this feeling of let me put a clean tone. This feeling of I want the sound to sound brighter, so it could be like I'm here, brighter. So this is Lydian. This, right? And then this. This is Ionian. So it's right. So it doesn't sound very classical because they were more like playing the major scales, but modulating, doing modulations to get this smaller sound, like. Now in F major. From the F major to G, you're jumping a fifth, so it's sunny again, I hope I was clear. More than is a Paganini, but it's kind of the same, the kind of not the same thing, but still, I think after Paganini, like then Beethoven started adding more tension. I think even Mozart in the Requiem, some composition. I'm not the guy. I know a little bit, but not the guy to be like talking deeply about classical music. But the Requiem from Mozart start to have some more interesting, let's say interesting, experimenting a little bit. And then the first symphonies from Beethoven is still very Mozart-like, but is already using the dominant of the dominant. Actually, the first symphony, it starts like something like that. It's like lots of dominants. I don't remember how it, but I remember it's like lots of dominants was a little bit a new thing, and then Beethoven started to play like more experimenting a little bit more further in his other symphonies, and then of course what comes after is a bit more experimental, and then to get to the French composer and stuff like that. But I think the idea is not to talk about classical music. Sorry, it's just a cool subject, a little bit about the music history, because you understand that everything that we discuss here was people were playing this for 200, 300 years. It's not an invention from Ingrid Malmsteen or or Steve Vai or something. Anyways, but doing that on the guitar is a different thing. Nexion, great question here. I will rephrase based on what you just said. Does the axis has to be always in the same degree? So you mean in the same tonic, right? That's so. So if you think about the pitch axis being like, okay, I'm on the A. So from A I can play Lydian, I can go Dorian, I can go Aeolian, I can choose what I want, I can go Phrygian. Can do. Can go Phrygian, and then I'm back here. Lydian. So I went to the like flamenco or like super dark, almost exotic mode to the brightest one, just because I'm having the A as my pitch axis, using the name, right? But if you know the concepts of the fifths, that's brighter, or fourths are smaller, you can use that concept together. So that would be a bigger jump. If I hope I'm clear. But let me show you something before so you can understand what I'm saying. When you go in fifths, you have this feeling that things are getting brighter, and when you go in fourths, things are getting darker, smaller. So let's say you heard this so many times. You're gonna say like, I got it. So let's say I'm playing C. And then if I go to the fifth, would feel brighter. So now the fifth of the G. Now the fifth of the D. Now the fifth of the A. So you know that, right? Right, so it's like it feels like it's growing. Do you understand? Like, or I'm stopping in E, but I can't keep going. And then the one, when you want to stop, you stop, and it feels like, oh, this is home now, or you can go the whole cycle. Right? Now, going down. So I hope you got this feeling. I can play with a triad. So 70s sound, right? Or Beatles. Right? So now going down, so fourths. So I'm here. So fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the F, F. Then the fourth of the F, B flat. Now the fourth of the B flat, E flat. Now the fourth of E flat, A flat. So only just you just see the note below, under, right? So back to the tonic. It's like getting smaller or somehow going down, right? Because it is going down. But even if I go up, gonna have let me try to go up, but I'm playing going down in the harmony, right? So F, right here. F, B flat. So still this it goes up, it's getting higher, but the feeling still right? Different than I hope that was clear. So this is like fifth gives you brightness because it's always adding a sharp every time you go up, and then if you're going fourths, you're adding a flat. So C major scales, no sharps, no flats. If you go to the fourth, which is F major, B flat. And then if you go to the next fourth from F, would be B flat key, you have B flat and E flat note. So it's adding flats, and while you're going fifth, adding sharps. I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But this is very, very important to understand when you're composing songs. Very important. Because just the fact you're, let's say you're playing a song in major, A major. And then the chorus comes. And then maybe just add more guitars. You can give more, the drummer does a cool feel, and then, chorus. In the mix you put a little, 1 dB, and then it feels like a chorus, more instrument. Yes, good. But you can make it bigger just by the fact that the chorus goes to a fifth. So you're here playing like a verse. Now so it's like your verse in A and then the chorus in E, and then you went a fifth, and then only you adding a sharp to the scale, and then yeah. So now the pitch axis would be staying there on A. So if you're playing this, you don't go to E. You go to E, but you don't go to E as a center. You stay on A, but then you if you think E major would be A Lydian. So now we use A Lydian. So from A Ionian. Verse, chorus. Got it? So instead of changing doing the modulation from A to E, you get the A from the E key, which you would be the A Lydian. I hope this is not complicated, no. uh, you just blew my mind. Oh, thank you. I never understood the why behind the cycle fifth. Uh, circle fifth, so cycle fifth. Let me see here what you guys are, because of Paganini, Black Star, Phrygian sounds good. Yeah, when I play the Phrygian. Very clear, the C chord. Hey Joe, yeah, yeah, of course, Hey Joe. But so many songs has this, and this works great to a transition and to modulate to anywhere, right? Because you have that. That's tricks. When you don't know what to do in your song, you can always put that. Because like let's say your song is in A, right? You're doing like whatever, and then like what can do something. Just put this. It has this like it's growing, and then put a. Or can start from even. And you can do the cycle, like start coming from a weird note, like a far, not weird but far, because if you wanna end here, going fifths. You could go from B flat, F, C, G, D, and back to the key. Or you could do like E flat, B flat, F, or you could do A flat here, A flat, B, then you do like it could be right. Right? Of course, that's longer, and then it's weird. The further you go, strange music, but it works. Right? Transition. So, and also if you are in A, you can do like, and now you're in the C sharp major, and voila, it's like. And back to your song. So it's a way to transpose using cycle fifth. Very, very good tool. I finally get to understand theory, get some great tips from writing. Thanks, man. It's complicated. Yeah, I'm talking too fast, maybe. Easy to understand. You explain. Oh, thank you. So basically, I mean, if you know the fundamental stuff, it's easier, I think people just skip this, or I mean, I did the same, It's like, what is this cycle fifth? This is just so boring. It's like, and I see people explaining still like a very boring way because, you add a sharp. Okay, C doesn't have a sharp, and then G has one sharp, and then D has two sharps, and then A has three sharps. Okay, you got it. So you understand, but you don't know what you're going to do with this, I don't even read music, so why do I want to know if a note has sharps or not? And then you go back home, and then you go back to your pentatonic, because that thing you understand. 5 notes, 5/8, 5/7, 5/7, and then the guitar players, they stay here. Basically, the composers, they know all those things because this is the harmony connects with the modes of the scales, that connects with the practice your instrument and having a good technique, so you can at least express yourself, right? So you can can play the arpeggios, and you visualize on the neck everything. You can see what's going on. A cool thing, like just like playing all the. I'm sure you saw this. So it's the same thing, like. Right? Fifth, B flat, then the fifth is F, then the fifth is C, then the fifth is G, then the fifth is D, then back to A. Right? And then if you play the keyboard, sounds very 80s, this. But you don't need to play like that all the time, but with arpeggios or just the melody, or so many ways you can express yourself using those cycles of fourths and fifths. And transposition is one way. And I have to think about my songs, because all this I'm always using this. It's very natural in a way. Pentatonic all day, every day. I feel personally attacked. Well, it's a Strata player. I don't understand anything. Fucking give me this pentatonic. And it feels good. So look, if you're here playing your A minor stuff, pentatonic, how about that? I'm going minor pentatonics in fifths. Sounds pretty familiar, right? So look, A minor, E. So the E is the fifth of A, right? It's always the power chord. You can always find the fifth just playing a power chord, and I'm sure you know that. So. E minor. Now the fifth of E minor. F sharp. Now. I'm back to A. So I played the, right? Everything. So, again, yeah, it sounds very, so if, of course, if you do the whole 12 tones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I did the 12 tones, right? 12 keys. I will do it again because I think it's a good exercise. Actually, I just discovered it might be like a great exercise for you guys. Because if you know pentatonics, you can always at least play the first shape. If you know more shapes, then you can use the caged system to help you so you're not like jumping around. But look, A minor. Let's do like a E minor. Now the fifth of E minor, B. Sounds pretty much like Hendrix, right? Now F sharp. The fifth of B is F sharp. Now C sharp. Look, and now it's G sharp, like half step from the A minor that we started. And doesn't feel like, let me ask you, does it feel that I'm going like weird sounds? I don't feel it. No, it's very natural. Because every time, because you're kind of neutralizing the sound, like pentatonic, okay, I get it. And then you go to the fifth. The fifth is a very common movement, transposition, because it's the fifth. And you know already the fifth is basically a reinforcement of the tonic. So everything is like a fifth up. It works. It's one note is different. So F, C minor now. D minor. Now A. Right? So that's a good exercise for you guys. Very good exercise. So you go through all the 12 pentatonics, and then you understand the concept of fifths, and then, you know, and then of course you can use only three, like fifth, oh, E minor, sorry, now B minor, back, then back to A. You know, can use 3 or 4 and then keep only in those 3 or 4 keys. You don't need to be going around forever. Yeah. If I can do this in fourths, yeah. Let's see how it sounds. Let's see. So now here. It's always like every time you bring the next one, it feels like, at least I feel like, okay, it's expanding somehow. Right? It's expanding. So let's see how it sounds going in fourth. So in fourth it would be A minor pentatonic, then going to the fourth right under here. So it's D. And then from D right under, G, then C, and then F, B flat, from B flat here, E flat, from E flat, A flat, octaves here, D flat, G flat, right? You keep going. B, E, A. All right, so. Let me play slower so you can really hear each one. No, that's nice. Weird, huh? But with triads, with major chords works well. With minor, let me play only with triads. Let's see. Right? You see? With minor it's minor already, the chords, and getting minor, so it's the minor you go, the kind of exotic or kind of a little bit weird, in a way, not so nice, not so beautiful. That's what my feeling. Here's good, because when you play the G minor, it means that the first note, the A minor, is a Phrygian. So the Phrygian has this sound, that exotic, which is nice. So you could do G minor, represents well with the A on the bass, A Phrygian. So every time you go minor, going down, like it's getting, very good for like Lord of the Rings kind of. I don't know. Let's see. I guess. Those what? Not so nice. Not so nice. Not so great. But yeah. It's the fourth with minor chords melancholic, but it's too much. If it's major chords, remember the harmonic series is every note has a major chord inside a note. So every time you play a minor, you're already creating some kind of a the minor third is already kind of creating some tension there, in a way, Then when you start doing the cycle going down, then it's like too sad, or to the point is not so nice, not so. But if you go 3 chords, it's okay. A, D minor, G minor, C minor, then back. From the C minor to the A minor gets a feeling that you're going major. Look. How many times did you hear in a movie? Right. Because you're playing C minor, and then when you play A minor, it's like you're turning this C major. But you have the feeling of a major, but you're still playing a minor chord, so it's kind of mysterious in a way, right? Cool. All right. Sorry about this. About playing keyboards. I don't know if you guys. Nobody wants me to play keyboard. Kiko, play guitar, please. I want you to play guitar. Tension. Never ending, controversial, yeah. Man, but yeah, those cycles are so good if you just play. So strange. It seems like every chord you stop on is a resolution, yeah. Yeah. Let me read some stuff here. All right, there's a lot of questions there, but otherwise you stay here forever. But all this, I will not extend more about this. But everything that I said was just because of this Nexion question. So I rephrase based on what you've just said. Does the axis have to be always the same degree, like in the same place? Yes, because you have to come back. But imagine then you have such a knowledge and understanding, and you know how to use, so you can not only use the pitch axis like to go to different modes from the same root, but what about if you go this root goes to the 5th, and then is even brighter. You know what I mean? And you use the element of the cycle of fifths to get it brighter. So you use only minor modes, and then you use the cycle of fifths. But what about if you're like in a major, you can do like a major mode, Ionian, A, and then go to E Ionian. But what about if you do like a Ionian, and you could go to A Lydian, would be brighter. But if you go to E Lydian, that would be even brighter, right? That's but then it's like you're going further, so it might be dangerous, you know, because every time you go like from Ionian to Lydian, you're changing one note. So you have 7 notes, you're changing only one. So all the other 6 notes are the same. So it's pretty familiar. So you don't feel that you're changing a lot, right? When you go to the fifth, you're changing one note, right? And then, but if you change the mode as well, now you're changing 2 notes, right? So, but it can be, why not? Let me see, right? So it really depends how you play a melody over that. So, but now I cannot change the chord. That's the Lydian, right? Ionian. So, look. Beautiful sound of Ionian. Now the E, I go to the E, I go to the fifth, but the E is gonna be Lydian, not Ionian. So A, let me play the Ionian again, just to, you know, neutralize our brain. You see, like sounds like whoa, like the guy goes flying somewhere. Can you hear this? I'm in a beautiful A Ionian. And if you want to go 1 degree of brightness, you would go to the Lydian mode. That A Lydian, pitch axis. Ionian, Lydian. Sharp 4. But now I'm going to the fifth, going to E, and then I will play Lydian on the next house, let's say, you know. So then it's gonna be like, whoa, surprise, because this is not expected, but it's a good surprise because, you know, if it gets brighter, why not? Everybody wants to be happier. Now, the tonal center, if you want to play this E, the fifth, creates like an opposite, like the dominant. This, the A is Ionian, the E is Mixolydian. That you're in the same key, A major. That's what we know everywhere. So. Right? So E, but imagine if the E is not Mixolydian anymore, you jump into Lydian. So you're jumping not from Mixolydian to Aeolian, not from Mixolydian to Ionian, but then you're skipping the Ionian and going straight to Lydian. That's why it's like, oh, this is like super bright. So Ionian. Back. Sorry. No. And back to, sorry, I messed it up. because I played the wrong note there and then give a different sound. So you're here. A Ionian, E leading. Kind of mysterious. So you can use as in your songs because you're happy and suddenly something happens. Oh, something happens. In that moment, in that room. All right. Cool. Extending too much. Luke said, so you shift all the modes up you. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. There's no rule. But I never liked when somebody said, oh, you can do whatever you want. You can break all the rules. The rules are, were made to be, broken. This doesn't help. The thing is, you have to understand the modes. Like, the more you play, the more you get familiar with the sounds of the modes, right? And then they have a close relation when they are played in the same key, all right? So they work as this normal progression that. Sounds beautiful, but then you're stuck there. So to expand, the composer's like, can I go to the fifth? Yeah, I can go. So Bach did this like 400 years ago. Okay, so I can go to the fifth. But what about, can I use the modes? Yes. So can I change the modes? Yes. So it's like changing the colors. Yes. But what about, I also transpose and change the color at the same time? Yes, you can do it. But you have to know the sound of transposition and you have to know the sounds of the modes. So you combine both kinds of changing the general feeling of the song, of the melody you're creating. And then in the end, you can do anything. You can play like a leading chord like this, right? The fourth and the fifth degree of the major scales, the two major triads. So basically what I'm doing here. So the fourth and the fifth. So the fourth is the leading. So that's why I have the leading sound. So if you like that sound, it's like, Kiko, I love that sound. This is so beautiful. Okay, so what about you do a song that only has that? Okay, great. So you're gonna do a song like this the whole time. It's gonna be boring because if you play too much a beautiful thing, now it's boring. So now I can play the same idea. And then I can play the same beautiful ideas. Like, I love this color. Can I paint? I like blue. Can I paint like my house blue and the sofa and everything blue? Yeah, you can. So basically, so the same sound transposing. And if you transpose in fifths, it's gonna give this brighter stuff. If you go in fourths, it's gonna be smaller. But if you're playing a brighter mode, maybe it's okay to go in fourths, like. D. Now G. Just changing, right? So I'm playing always this two I don't know if you guys can see. It's basically this, but as I'm changing, I'm using the A here. Then D. Now G. Now C. You see? You see the C? So I like Lydian, so I'm putting Lydian everywhere. So there is no, so have some rules, and then you can start to mix the rules together. So there is no rules that doesn't, tells you not to mix the stuff. But if you know music history, if you start doing things like this, you're gonna sound modern, because Bach was not doing this. So if you want to sound more Baroque, more classical, more inside the box, let's say, you have to avoid those kind of things. You have to go more, okay, I'm in C major, I'm going to G major, going to F, because that stuff, they used to do that back then. What about if I start moving all around all the Lydians, it's going to sound more fusion-like, because, yeah. Somebody asked the example of my song. There's a song like Imminent Threat, the solo from March Friedman is exactly this. So what is this chord? It's a chord that contains the sharp fourth. So I play the triad, and I play the sharp fourth, and then I put the bass. That's why it looks like a fancy chord, but it's basically a triad that's playing A, like this triad. But then we don't need to play the fifth. Remember, the fifth is just a repetition, almost like a repetition of the tonic. So you don't need to play the fifth. So get rid of the fifth and play the sharp fourth that represents the Lydian, and then now we have the sound. All right, that's a beautiful sound. What about this beautiful sound in different places? Here, F, A flat, C, B flat. Now, if you play her, yeah, so it sounds jazzy. But I put this in a metal music, and basically that's the solo from March Friedman, and he did an awesome job changing 4 different Lydian scale, different keys for the Lydian scale: F Lydian, A flat Lydian, B flat Lydian, C Lydian. I hope this is not too much for you guys. I'm always afraid to, because it's not easy to play. You're gonna see this like this is pretty hard. Chords are changing, and you have to create a solo that has an idea, and then you're doing your phrasing, and then the chord changes. You have to change the scale. So there's a lot of stuff you have to practice. Because you're going. I just changed it from F Lydian to A flat Lydian, but I didn't stop my thinking. A flat, C, B flat. So the melodic idea is going up, and I'm changing the scale. So of course this is, like a, next level, next step. And that's why you have to really know the modes. Then you can do a lot of stuff. Let me see what you guys are. What's the relation between A Lydian and A? There's no relation. The relation would be the A note, right? So if you think A Ionian, has would be the E would be mixolydian, right? The fifth degree of A Ionian, the E, would be a mixolydian, and to the Lydian, they have two notes that are different. One is the seventh, so D to D sharp, and then the fourth A to 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 A sharp. Two notes. Two notes. Only two notes. So we have seven notes on the mode. Two notes are different. Five notes are the same. Both are major chords. So tonic, third and fifth are common notes, right? The fourth is not. The seventh is not. So it's the ninth and the sixth are the same, right? The sixth of the the C sharp, right? The C sharp and the ninth, the F sharp, which is the sixth of the A. I can think like this, but of course it's more interesting if you play. So two notes, five notes are common, and two notes makes that huge difference. So if you know five notes are common, that the triads are common, so you have like as a pivot note. I wouldn't say the pitch axis, but it's a pivot note. So if I'm changing from, let's say, if I'm doing a melody and then I'm playing like A Ionian, and I play the B. So, and the B is a common note. So if your melody is like targeting the B, it's gonna be easier to transition. But the main difference here of the going A Ionian to E Lydian is because the E Lydian doesn't have the note A, and then that's a big shift, because if you're playing a song in A, then you choose a mode that doesn't have that note. That's why it would be easier to go to another mode that maybe would have the note A, and then it would sound less weird, the transition. So if you go to D major, would sound easier, you know. If you go to, I don't know, experimenting all the things, you know. Yeah. So that's an idea. But everything works. Everything works. You just have to prepare well, and then have to have a reason. My favorite live lesson so far. I wish March Spring 4 was just the next level. How can I? Oh, a lot of questions, man. I have to. I think we are 1 hour and a half here, so it never ends, right? I've got like 100. I've got like 100 levels before March becomes the next level. Well, yes, you know what I mean. Which was pretty interesting, because it's not every guitar player can just like fluently go through the modes and create something like this, you know, like changing keys. It's awesome solo, you know, it's not easy. Let me see. Next, yeah. uh, not going to find a whole lot of structures that can tell you that on the spot. All right, Kiko said about the modes optional. I said that, yeah, everything that I say here, you know, it's not like, oh, guys, you should know that. It's not like this. Just that's why sometimes I'm afraid to just it might sound fancy, and sometimes to explain songs, it sounds fancy, you know, those names, whatever. But I'm always afraid to get the fancy names or showing cool examples of going everywhere, and then it's a lot of it's, to be like a show off, because it's not. I mean, if you, I mean, it's good to see where you can go. I think this is good, you know, but you have to go back and learn the fucking G major scale. You know, like just play that G major scale, and then and then keep doing it. You know, in the seven factor course. I don't know if some guys maybe are not from the seven factor, some are from the guitar hacks practicing, but I'm talking a lot about the modes here. Um, so if you're not, I think you should learn the get the course and slowly build this knowledge, the foundation of knowing the shapes, knowing the sounds, and just practice. Just get this intimacy with every mode. I mean, basically we use 6 modes. The Locrian, you're not gonna see people using it like as much, let's say, but basically it's always like a passing mode, more as a chord in a progression. Um, so 6 modes. So if you take like, I don't know, 2 months per mode, 3 months to get, of course you don't need to be like 1 month in one mode, but you know what I mean. Like get a month and practice 1 or 2 or 3, only the majors, go to the minors, go back, start mixing them, just play, because you have to visualize, you have the technique as well, playing right. Some of you guys maybe still struggling to play the scales and hitting the right note. So I'm talking about improvising in 4 different keys of the Lydian mode. So it's too much. It takes time. I've been playing those. I understood modes, and then I started playing when I was, I don't know, 19. So it's like it was a long time ago. So since I understood when I was 17, 18, 19, whatever, like the modes, the shapes a little bit, and I started developing. So it was like a long journey to get very fluent. But of course, you don't need 20 years for that. I'm not saying that. But like in a year, you're gonna, even less, you're gonna understand that thing, and then you're gonna start using the modes in many different ways. And everything that you learn is a fun thing to apply. That's the main thing. Is always everything you learn, try to apply. So today, you learn the pentatonic. I think the pentatonic exercise is pretty good. A minor, go to E minor. Then you think about the 5th. If you take time, write down, and then look, go through the pentatonics. Only 3: A, E, B. A minor, E minor, B minor. Once you did that, next 5th. Okay, that's F sharp. Okay, 4 chords, and then just try to play. Play the chord, pentatonic. And play the licks you know. Doesn't need to go fancy, just play. So you understand the concept of building in 5ths. You understand of the concept of cycle 5th, and you understand the feeling, right? And then also to play in 12 keys the pentatonic, and then you're not afraid to move around the neck. I think it's a difficult exercise, but it's doable, because you're using the shape that probably you guys know, and you just have to. You might write down the 5ths, starting from A, and then just go up. Then you try with the minor, going down in 4ths, and see what happens. You can do the same with triads, arpeggios. That would be great exercise as well. So understand the concept, get the sound and the foundation, and then keep practicing the modes there, the shapes, and then everything's gonna connect. That's what the way I do the course, like more like shapes, technical, than the feelings, the intervals. That's very important. Once you understand the intervals, and you start seeing them. Takes time to like, oh, now it's clear. Like, yeah, I can see it. It takes time. It takes time, but it's always fun to play anyway. So, anyways. Yeah, you can always practice each mode starting on the same fret. That's the best exercise you can do. Yeah. How can you identify the note? Marty is primarily an arpeggio player. He plays a lot of arpeggios and pentatonics, very rock and roll as well. But he has a very good sense of those. I don't know. I don't know how much. I never. Well, we talked a lot, but I don't know how much he knows. He would explain. I think he would. He knows the the modes and the sounds. The way he plays, he knows. But a lot of arpeggios, yeah, and it's very like when you see like some musicians, even like top musicians, like top improvisers, the way they explain sometimes in different ways they learn in a different way, and then the end result is awesome, and then you get there same way. Uh, it's like my wife she has like a great music education and did classical piano and jazz and all the Bill Evans stuff and Herbie Hancock, and then she doesn't have this. When I talk like the way I talk, I think it's much clearer the way I see that the way she sees. I think because the classical music is more like learning songs, not really. They analyze in a different way, and yeah, so I don't know. So people see same things in different perspectives. So I don't know how Mark Friedman how he approached that solo, but the way I see is like four leading chords. Maybe he thinks about triads, two major triads, and then play the arpeggios and get that sound. I don't know. Yes, lesson 1.3 all week for yeah, like just keep playing the shapes, and then if you can play the shapes also starting from the same fret, from the same tonic, and then compare them. Like if you have a pedal note, I think I think you have some website that you can put to have a steady note. Probably it's gonna sound very boring, but if you have any keyboard, you can do this, and of course you can, just a steady note I think is awesome. So you can hear because it's not a groove, it's not a. Good access. So it's good to slowly, I'm playing fast, I'm changing, I know, but even if you play only the pentatonic and try to understand, get the feeling, the relationship with the notes, very important. And then slowly, what about if you play pentatonic, just shift the pentatonic in different places? That would be an easy exercise to do as well. A minor, right? If I play the F sharp minor, would be the major A. back to minor. So A minor pentatonic and F sharp minor pentatonic. Now if I play G minor pentatonic, this A is gonna turn into a Phrygian. I'm gonna go back, neutralize in a minor mode, A minor. Weird, but if it's weird, but if I neutralize on the way back, the A back, so I'm playing the G minor pentatonic that you guys know. But then I'm just going to the A note as well in the melody, because the G minor pentatonic doesn't have the A note and the bass is playing A. So I play the melody A, neutralization, remember, as a pitch axis. I love this name. And then G minor, and then pitch axis, and then A minor, and then back to A, and then F sharp minor. Now it's like A major. Right? Cool? So let's finish this now, and I recorded the whole thing. Well, you guys have the link as well, but I will upload to the course as well. So every live we can upload. So you know, if there's some part you guys have the time to watch again, it's always gonna be there. All right, I'm not gonna look more at the question, otherwise you're gonna be here forever. And thanks a lot to everybody. And I hope you guys got good, ideas from this live, and I hope I was here to help you guys, and then you got some good stuff there. All right. I love the comments. Thanks a lot, guys, and see you next month, and see you in every time you watch my videos. But the live next month, I'll let you know when. It's gonna be pretty tough, I have to say, because I'm gonna be recording the album, so I'm not sure about the September live, because I will finish by the end of September. But I'll do my best, and to the end of September, or maybe in October we do 2. All right, so I hope take care, guys, and thanks a lot, and see you soon. All right, so let me close down here. All right, end stream. Cheers.